Every time I put up a post, I get very divergent views. I really appreciate every other comment that I get, but it seems like on social media it's very, very difficult to get a point across because half of the people know what they're talking about. There are people in the industry. So that criticism to the post actually is validated, where it can be a conversation that can be had. But I also noticed that because it's social media and everybody's got access to social media, everybody's an expert, you know. I might have spent 20 years in the game, 22 years in the game. It doesn't matter. A guy who's been in the game for 6 months can still comment. So I think I made a comment about how Zambians, you know, should stop following sound. Now let me break it down, okay? A lot of people thought that I was saying that we cannot fuse new sounds with our sounds, right? And a lot of people thought that I was instigating or saying that we cannot actually even follow sounds. What I was trying to say was that there's no point trying to follow a sound that your competitor just left, right? So the competitor already sucked everything out of that sound and made a name from that. So if you're going to try and follow, say, Amapiano, right? Amapiano is new. As soon as it came up, the Nigerians took it up. They were on point. They understood that this is a sound that's working. So they were quick to jump on it. But a lot of music that I hear right now is based on the sound that our competitors have already abandoned. They made use of that sound and they've already abandoned. So that's one of the things. And then the second thing that I was saying is that there's also another way to approach making music. There's two ways to do this. You could either be a pioneer and create sound. And by saying you're going to create sound, doesn't mean that the sound is going to be new, because nothing is new. I made music, it was new, but I am influenced by hip hop, R&B, and I also am influenced by Zambian music, and we put it together. Nothing is new. It's only new when we present it as new. So I'm not saying that we can't go back and then or get influenced by other people's music. I'm not saying that, you know. So the only thing I'm against is either you're going to be like Sampa the Great. Sampa the Great is using a sound from West Africa, if people don't know. Like the jazz, the saxophones, that's not Zambian. She's using hip hop. That's not Zambian, but she's created something new. So it's either you are going to pioneer a sound and make and present that as a new sound, or if you're going to be a follower, which I don't really, I'm against, but I don't go against. I'm against personally, but I don't go against that. But if you're going to follow a sound, don't start making house music from 4 years ago, from South Africa. Even house music from South Africa is not from South Africa, because house music came from the UK. But why are you staying 3-4 years behind? Just doesn't make sense for me. If you're going to try and get on the new sound, get ahead of that sound. At least as it's coming out, create your own fusion. The Nigerians have showed us. The way they had their own Afro beat, as soon as Amapiano struck, just as Amapiano was getting big, they were on it. So if you're going to follow a sound, at least be updated. Don't start following a sound that someone made 5 years ago. So that was my post about that.
But personally for me, I still think like we can do better as an industry. We can do better as an industry, in as much as it's small. Not every Zambian artist will get the exposure that Sampa the Great had. Not every Zambian artist will have the chance to be born in Australia or China or wherever. But work with what you've got. Make it better. Because at the end of the day, the industry won't die with you. There'll be kids 10, 15, 30 years from now who still want to be in the music industry. But if they're just going to be like, what's the Chisungu chaya. What's the word? Is it regurgitating? Yes, like we're just throwing up the same thing. Like a dog throws up and then goes back to eat its vomit, right? So like if we as the Zambian industry, the Zambian music industry, if we are not going to create a sound for ourselves, if we're going to sit back and just be like, no, I'll just do it the way this guy does it, I'll just do it the way this girl does it, and like even with like what's her name, I know people make fun of her because of her voice, like Bombshell, like they're like, that's your voice, the whatever, but that's her sound, man. When you hear that, you're like, Bombshell, you know what I mean? Not that I'm saying that that's a Zambian sound, but I really look forward to the day where a song plays in an international club, and for me as a Zambian, I'm like, that's a Zambian song, without even hearing lyrics, without even hearing no, I just want to hear a sound, a Zambian sound. So there's hope. I hope.
There's great talent in, the Zambian entertainment industry. And it is safe to say that we have made great strides at the very same time. Sometimes you must commend yourselves where you do actually experience some changes, because the fight is not easy. There are too many barriers, and all of those barriers are what need to be eliminated before the industry itself can really thrive. But what really I have seen as a problem in the industry is the lack of a business mindset. That what you have, yes, is a talent, but it is a product to the public, because that is what your business is. So you must have some capacity to be able to sell this product for you to remain relevant and continue to do exactly what you love, because it's a passion. If we surround ourselves with the necessary people, with the necessary business skills, we will do really great things, because what really needs to be done is just the structuring. Discipline in itself is not just something that you imagine in your head, in your mind. Discipline is coming from structure, that you are operating within a structured institution, therefore you're following the rules and regulations. But the point is, once you enter into a system where there are rules and regulations, you comply, because there's an objective that needs to be met. You also understand that particular objective. So that's the kind of structure that you need to create in the music industry. Stop seeing it as a performance. Uliom guys mukadi. Mukadi afiria shtisha no kushtisha. Mukadi afiria pangani ndalama. Ebukadi. So there are people that are supposed to see it differently, and you as an artist, yes, it's a passion, it's something that you are, good at, it's a talent, and you keep on doing it, but there needs to be proper management, therein.
Koko Lenipo, being somebody who has also been pushing my own artistic agenda for a while, relatively known, unknown, so there's like a niche of people that have gotten to know me through artistic endeavors, and then you find that the thing that's making me money, I'm not even known for as such. But what I'd have to say is something that I've said tirelessly on Twitter Spaces, in person-to-person conversations, wherever I'm called into. I always say that lack of structure will never necessitate the business, because art in and of itself is a business. And I've always talked about other factors, such as the fact that we're not so united as we'd love to be or preach. We're not so educated on the arts themselves. There is no degree course for artistic endeavors as yet. If that can be established, maybe people will start to change and realign their thoughts around art and how it should be appreciated. Because at the end of the day, the truth is, how can you push a cultural identity if you do not understand it? That's where we are as a people. Because the far cry that I hear a lot of the time is, if you rapping in English and you rap in English so well, why can't you do the same with local languages. I've been exposed to English for more than 12 years of my life. The TVs we pay for to watch, everything is in English. How can I run away from this? And the very fact that the music I express myself through has a certain standard of English that is spoken, I might as well apply myself to that. Because for me, I find it a grave injustice to rap on an American beat in my language, in Bemba. I find it to be a grave injustice. Why? It is not the best form for me to express myself creatively. I do rap in Bemba, but there are sounds that we organize in order to do that. So, without talking too much, as you can tell, I'm passionate about these things. We need structure, we need education around the arts, and we actually need people to be well invested in these things. We can't keep comparing ourselves to people outside. We're all we have. It takes us to push us. So yeah, I had to say it.
The knowledge that's out there right now is not for the artists that are making it right now. It's not for the artists that are big. It's for the people that are coming behind them. These are the people who then need to start putting all of this into structure. So that should they choose to bring back a nostalgic moment, this is like your Exile, your whoever, they want to come and perform. It'll be like, we put this in place. I know I'll be respected. I know I'll be treated like this. Why? Because they vari bika knowledge pali bayaba kunmakmwawo. So that's but wari the mission vari work with the mind. You know what I mean? They had that in mind, and they had they became visionaries, and they executed that. And the only people that are going to benefit from a structure, from discipline, from all of these things that we have talked about is the generation of musicians that are right behind us. Otherwise, right now, the people that are doing music right now,